What if I told you that the very thing you claim to want most is the same thing your subconscious mind fights against every single day? What if the reason you're not where you want to be isn't because you fear failure, but because you fear success itself? And what if this invisible enemy has been sabotaging your relationships, your opportunities, and your entire life without you even knowing it? I want you to pause right now and ask yourself, when was the last time you were truly close to a breakthrough, only to find yourself pulling back at the very moment victory was within reach? When was the last time you sabotaged your own progress just when things were going too well? If you're ready to confront this hidden truth and transform your life, write "I will be better now" in the comments, because today we're going to expose the most dangerous enemy you never knew you had. My friends, I am Napoleon Hill, and for decades I have studied the minds of the most successful individuals who ever walked this earth. From Andrew Carnegie to Henry Ford, from Thomas Edison to John D. Rockefeller, I have witnessed firsthand what separates those who achieve greatness from those who remain forever trapped in mediocrity. And what I discovered will shock you to your very core. The greatest obstacle to your success is not your circumstances, not your education, not your background, not even your resources. The greatest obstacle to your success is your own mind's twisted relationship with the very concept of winning. You see, while your conscious mind dreams of success, your subconscious mind has been programmed to fear it, to resist it, to destroy it before it can destroy you. This is the paradox that has kept more brilliant minds in chains than any external force ever could. This is the invisible prison that locks men away from their destiny while they hold the key in their own hands. This is why you find yourself standing at the threshold of greatness, only to turn around and walk back into the familiar darkness of limitation. But why? Why would any rational human being fear the very thing they claim to desire? The answer lies in the deepest recesses of your psyche, in the programming that was installed long before you had the conscious ability to question it. Success, you see, represents change, and change, even positive change, triggers every alarm bell in your primitive brain that was designed to keep you safe, not to make you great. Your subconscious mind equates success with danger because success means leaving the tribe. Success means standing out. Success means becoming a target. Success means responsibility, accountability, and the terrifying possibility of having everything to lose. So your mind, in its misguided attempt to protect you, sabotages every opportunity before it can fully materialize. Think about this carefully. When you were young, what messages did you receive about successful people? Were they portrayed as happy, fulfilled individuals, or were they depicted as corrupt, lonely, stressed, and morally compromised? Were you taught that money is the root of all evil? Were you told that successful people step on others to get ahead? Were you conditioned to believe that wanting more makes you greedy, selfish, or ungrateful? These toxic beliefs planted in the fertile soil of your young mind have grown into mighty trees whose roots now strangle every seed of possibility you try to plant. They whisper to you in moments of potential triumph, "Who do you think you are? You don't deserve this. People will judge you. You'll become someone you don't recognize. You'll lose your friends. You'll become corrupt. You'll have too much pressure. You'll fail anyway, so why try?" But here's what I want you to understand with crystal clarity. These fears are nothing more than phantoms, shadows cast by a mind that confuses safety with stagnation, comfort with contentment, and mediocrity with morality. The truth is that success, real success, doesn't corrupt character, it reveals it. Success doesn't destroy relationships, it shows you which relationships were built on genuine love and which were built on your limitation. Let me share with you the story of Marcus, a brilliant architect I once knew, whose tale perfectly illustrates this invisible enemy. Marcus had dreams that stretched beyond the clouds, visions of buildings that would reshape skylines and inspire generations. He possessed talent that could move mountains and creativity that could paint new worlds. Yet year after year, he remained trapped in a small firm, designing mundane structures that barely challenged his extraordinary abilities. Every time a major opportunity presented itself, a chance to design a cathedral, a revolutionary skyscraper, a monument that would bear his name for centuries, Marcus would find reasons to decline. He would tell himself he wasn't ready, that he needed more experience, that he should wait for a better opportunity. But I watched him closely, and I saw the real pattern. When Marcus received an invitation to present his designs to the city's most influential developers, he would suddenly fall ill the night before. When a prestigious firm offered him a partnership that would catapult his career, he would find fault with the contract terms. When his own innovative designs began gaining recognition, he would immediately start a new project that was safer, more conventional, more forgettable. Marcus was not afraid of failure. He had failed many times and always bounced back stronger. Marcus was afraid of success. He was terrified of the responsibility that comes with being truly great. He was paralyzed by the thought of standing in the spotlight, of having thousands of eyes upon his work, of being accountable for something magnificent. He feared that success would change him into someone he wouldn't recognize, someone his family and friends might resent. But the most devastating part of Marcus's story wasn't his professional stagnation, it was how his fear of success poisoned every other area of his life. He sabotaged romantic relationships just as they were deepening into something beautiful, convincing himself that he didn't deserve love or that commitment would limit his freedom. He pushed away friendships that challenged him to grow, preferring the company of those who kept him comfortable in his limitation. He spent his money carelessly, ensuring he never accumulated enough wealth to feel successful. Marcus had created an entire lifestyle designed to keep him safely mediocre, and he defended this prison as if it were a palace. He told himself he was humble, down to earth, one of the people. But humility that keeps you from your destiny is not virtue, it is self-betrayal of the highest order. One evening, as Marcus sat in his modest apartment looking at blueprints for another forgettable building, he experienced what I call a moment of brutal clarity. He realized that his greatest fear wasn't that he might fail to achieve his dreams, it was that he might actually achieve them. He saw with devastating clarity how he had been his own worst enemy, how he had spent years building walls around his own potential, how he had mistaken self-sabotage for self-protection. That night, Marcus made a decision that would transform not just his career but his entire existence. He decided to make friends with success instead of treating it as an enemy. He began to reprogram his subconscious mind, replacing fear-based beliefs with truth-based convictions. He started to see success not as a threat to his identity, but as the natural expression of his highest self. The transformation wasn't instant, but it was profound. Marcus began to notice the subtle ways he had been sabotaging himself, the accidents that happened before important meetings, the perfectionism that prevented him from submitting his best work, the negative self-talk that preceded every opportunity. With this awareness came power, and with power came choice. He started small, accepting projects that stretched him slightly beyond his comfort zone. He practiced success in manageable doses, allowing his nervous system to adjust to the feeling of winning. He surrounded himself with people who celebrated his victories rather than those who needed him to stay small. He began to rewrite the story he told himself about what it means to be successful. Within 2 years, Marcus had designed 3 buildings that revolutionized his city's skyline. Within 5 years, his name was spoken in the same breath as the great architects of history. But more importantly, he had found love with a woman who admired his ambition, built friendships with people who inspired his growth, and discovered that success hadn't changed who he was. It had revealed who he had always been meant to be. Marcus learned what I have been teaching for decades. Success is not something that happens to you, it is something that happens through you. It is not an external achievement, but an internal transformation. It is not about getting more, but about becoming more. And when you understand this truth, your relationship with success transforms from fear to friendship, from resistance to partnership, from sabotage to collaboration. Now let me ask you directly, how many times have you been your own Marcus? How many times have you stood at the threshold of greatness only to find an excuse to turn back? How many opportunities have you sabotaged because your subconscious mind convinced you that you weren't worthy, ready, or deserving? How many relationships have you destroyed because they threatened to elevate you beyond your comfort zone? The time has come to end this war between your conscious desires and your subconscious fears. The time has come to stop treating success as the enemy and start embracing it as your birthright. Because here's what I know with absolute certainty. You were not born to live a life of quiet desperation. You were not designed to hide your light under a bushel. You were not created to play small in a universe that is infinite. Every cell in your body, every thought in your mind, every beat of your heart is conspiring to help you achieve the success you were born for. But first, you must stop fighting against your own nature. You must stop sabotaging your own progress. You must stop treating your potential as something dangerous and start recognizing it as something sacred. The reprogramming begins with awareness. You must become vigilant about the ways your mind tries to pull you back toward mediocrity. Notice when you start making excuses just as opportunities appear. Observe when you suddenly become busy right before important deadlines. Watch for the subtle ways you distance yourself from people who believe in your potential. Recognize the self-defeating thoughts that masquerade as rational concerns. But awareness alone is not enough. You must actively replace fear-based programming with truth-based beliefs. Instead of "I don't deserve success," you must program "I am worthy of all the good life has to offer." Instead of "success will change me for the worse," you must affirm "success will reveal the best version of myself." Instead of "I'm not ready," you must declare "I am ready for whatever challenges and opportunities come my way." This reprogramming requires the same persistence and dedication you would apply to building physical strength. Every day you must feed your mind with thoughts of possibility. Surround yourself with images of achievement. and speak words that align with your highest aspirations. You must practice success in your imagination until it becomes familiar to your nervous system. And here's a truth that will set you free. The fear of success is often more intense than success itself. The anticipation of change is usually more frightening than the change itself. The imagination of responsibility is more overwhelming than responsibility itself. Your mind has been creating horror stories about success that have no basis in reality. True success, the kind that comes from authentic self-expression and genuine service to others, doesn't corrupt, isolate, or overwhelm. It liberates, connects, and empowers. True success doesn't make you less than who you are. It makes you more of who you've always been. True success doesn't separate you from love. It makes you more capable of giving and receiving love. But you must also understand that some relationships will change as you grow. Some people will indeed be uncomfortable with your expansion. Some friendships will naturally fade as you outgrow the limitations that once bound you together. This is not a tragedy, it is evolution. It is not betrayal, it is growth. It is not loss, it is graduation. The people who truly care about you will celebrate your success, even if it means you're traveling a path they haven't chosen for themselves. The relationships worth keeping are those that expand with your expansion, that grow with your growth, that elevate with your elevation. Any relationship that requires you to stay small, to dim your light, to limit your potential, is not a relationship worth preserving. Now I want you to imagine a different version of your life, a life where you embrace success as your natural state. Picture yourself waking up each morning excited about the possibilities ahead, confident in your ability to handle whatever challenges arise, surrounded by people who inspire and support your highest aspirations. Visualize yourself creating value in the world, making a difference that matters, building something that will outlast your physical presence on this earth. Feel what it would be like to use your talents fully, to express your creativity completely, to contribute your unique gifts to the world without hesitation or apology. Imagine the relationships you could build, the impact you could have, the legacy you could leave if you stopped sabotaging your own success. This is not fantasy. This is possibility. This is not wishful thinking. This is your birthright. This is not too good to be true. This is what's true about you when you stop fighting against your own greatness. But transformation requires more than imagination. It requires action. Starting today, you must begin to act like the successful person you are becoming. You must make decisions from your future self, not your past self. You must speak from your potential, not your history. You must move toward opportunities instead of away from them. When fear arises, and it will arise, you must lean into it instead of backing away. When the voice of self-doubt whispers its familiar lies, you must respond with the voice of self-belief speaking its powerful truths. When opportunities present themselves, you must say yes, even when your comfort zone screams no. Remember this fundamental truth. Your fear of success is not protecting you, it is imprisoning you. It is not keeping you safe, it is keeping you small. It is not preserving your authenticity, it is preventing your authenticity from fully expressing itself. The world needs what you have to offer. The world needs your unique combination of talents, experiences, and perspectives. The world needs the solution you're here to provide, the beauty you're here to create, the change you're here to make. But the world cannot receive your gifts if you keep them locked away in the vault of your own limitations. As I have always taught, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But I would add this crucial understanding: whatever the mind fears and resists, it will sabotage and destroy. Your mind is the most powerful force in your universe, and it will work either for you or against you. The choice is yours. Stop treating success as the enemy and start embracing it as your destiny. Stop sabotaging your progress and start supporting your potential. Stop hiding from your greatness and start stepping into it with courage, confidence, and conviction. The time for playing small is over. The time for self-sabotage is finished. The time for fearing your own success has ended. The time for becoming everything you were born to be has arrived. Your success is not just possible, it is inevitable once you stop fighting against it and start fighting for it. Your greatness is not just a dream, it is your destiny once you stop running from it and start running toward it. Your impact is not just potential, it is certain once you stop sabotaging it and start supporting it. The universe is waiting for you to claim your birthright. Your future self is calling you forward. Your destiny is demanding that you rise. The only question that remains is this: will you answer the call, or will you continue to let fear make your decisions for you? As I have always said, success comes to those who become success conscious, but I tell you now, success flees from those who remain success phobic. The choice is yours, and the time is now. If you're ready to stop sabotaging your success and start claiming your destiny, write "I will be better now" in the comments below, because your transformation begins the moment you decide to stop being your own worst enemy and start being your own greatest ally. Your success story starts today, but only if you have the courage to write it.